Hello, good day, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Physics. Physics from Jappy. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing okay. It's been a long time since we last uploaded. We're getting busy. Yeah, we're starting to get busy up there. Uh, for today, we're gonna be doing another more example or on our series or more problem series. uh, Fourth video, third video, you will see on the title. You will see. Okay, so how about we get started? Are you guys ready? And let's go. Alright, so in our more problem or in this set of examples or questions, we have like multiple choice and problem solving. And again, this is about physics and um, I think this is measurement, the units and dimension, right? Dimensional analysis, statics, kinetics, kinematics, and work power energy. Okay, so judging from the choices, which of the following pairs of physical quantities has the same dimension? Work and power? Nope. Work is joules, power is watts. Work and energy, yes. Force and power, force and Newton is Newton, power is watts. None of the above. The answer is B. Okay. Helium boils at negative 297 degrees temperature. Mathematically, 297 exists. But for context, there's no such thing as negative 273.15 degrees Celsius because realistically, a material could only achieve negative 273.15 degrees Celsius or absolute zero temperature. Okay? But, this is a problem. Let's just convert this into Fahrenheit, sorry. B. The answer is B. What is the dimensional formula for power? Okay, so dimensional analysis, power is joules per second or time, or work over time. Work is force times length over time. Force is mass length over time squared. Length over time. So that's gonna be ml squared over t cubed. Okay. Where's that? Letter A. Ay, candela is a unit of luminous intensity. Which of the following is not a physical quantity? Uh, Electric current. Physically, you can still feel it. Length, yes, of course. Kilogram, yes. Electric current is a quantity. Kilogram is a unit. Again, time is not physical though. Okay, you cannot accurately measure time. We give measure to time, but it's not physically there. Right? So time. Okay. Okay. I think time is not a physical quantity. It could be kilogram. Kilogram is not a quantity but unit. But I think time is one of the more wrong or it's the correct answer. Okay. Okay, interplanetary distances are measured as light year. Okay, kilometer is for probably cars. Watts is for power. Megameter is probably somewhere, I don't know who uses megameter. Megaman, probably. Megaman. Which of the following does not describe a vector quantity? Vector is a magnitude with direction. Ball thrown upward, direction. Wind blowing 100 north of west, direction. 100 kilogram of water, no direction. Okay. 100 Newton, that's a force. Okay. Okay, there we go. A compressive force is always applied towards the body. A normal force is always upward. First statement is true. Yes, compressive force is always towards the body. Normal force is always upward. Both statement is true. First statement is false. First statement is true. Okay. It could be A or D. It could be A or D. Okay. A physical quantity which has direction as well as magnitude is known as direction, and magnitude is known as vector. Okay, I think we're very fastly solving this, right? We are solving this very fast. Which of the following statement is false? Scalar quantities have size or magnitude only? Yes. Vector quantities have both magnitude and direction? Yes. Mass, length, and time are all scalar quantities. Mass has no direction. Length has no direction. It length could have direction, but length could also be scalar. Or we're talking about displacement. Okay? But length, ultimately, the length or the how long an object is a scalar. Okay. Distance, velocity, and acceleration are all okay. So distance is not a vector. Displacement is a vector. Define the free body diagram. A figure that represents external forces acting in a body. Yes. A diagram that represents internal forces. I mean, how can a diagram have internal acting on the body? Probably in the body, but not on the body. I mean, that's weird, right? A freehand sketch. No, I mean, no, free body, there's no body. Okay, no diagram. Okay? A diagram that only represents moments acting on a body. I mean, free body diagram is used for forces, not moments. Okay, so letter A is the answer. Okay, letter A. Are you guys enjoying the questions? Are you guys am I doing the questions so very fast? I think we're doing it very fast. I'm trying to explain every choices though. I think I already said this on the last video, but I always try to explain the choices. But tell me if it's too fast or too slow. You could pause the video, but it would help if you get like if you guys have some input, or probably if I know what you guys feel. uh, I would like to cater to those who are watching with me. It can be specified completely only if we provide both magnitude and direction. Vector quantity. No, no, angular, no, none of the above scalar. I mean, but magnitude and direction. It can be specified completely. I mean, yeah, vector. A force, velocity, or other vector quantity which is equivalent to the combined effects of two or more component vectors acting at the same point, not gravity, acceleration, that's acceleration. Concurrent forces, I mean, it's not combined. Concurrent forces acting on a point. When you say concurrent forces, they are forces acting on a same point, or they are concurrent, they are currently acting on the same point. Coplanar are planar forces acting on the same plane. Coplanar. Resultant are result combined. Okay, let's go. Letter B. It is the tangential force acting on an object that opposes the sliding of the. Oh, we know that. We know that. Opposes the sliding of the object on an adjacent surface which it is in contact. Tangential force, which is friction force. Okay? Tangential force. Acting on an object that opposes the sliding of that object. Wait. It is the tangential force. It is the tangential force acting on an object that opposes the sliding of that object. I mean, friction is the opposed on that object. Yeah, friction is the one that opposes the sliding on the object. Adjacent surface with which it is in contact. That's super friction. Okay. Normal force doesn't oppose sliding. Okay. I mean, it is tangentially 90 degrees, but it doesn't oppose sliding. Okay. Gravitational force, I mean, no. It doesn't oppose. I mean, gravity is always there, but no. Tensile force, there's no rope. Okay, so there cannot be tensile force. Friction is the correct answer. It is defined for the case which one surface is sliding across another at a constant speed. So when there is a constant speed, the force, the friction is moving. So that's like kinetic friction. Static friction is when it's gonna be moving, or it's not sliding, or it's gonna move, or it's gonna impede, okay? In which one surface is sliding, this is like, when you say sliding, it is in action or present tense, right? So kinetic friction, right? Static friction is when the object is going to move, or future tense. Okay, I think that's it. That's the answer. I hope you guys you guys could go back to the time. You guys could slow down the video. If you guys have any question, if you have any qualms, you guys could do on the comment section below, and talk to me. I will. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the comments from the last video, and I hope you guys love the last video. I've been super busy with work lately, and also my grad school. I'm taking grad school, guys. I'm taking grad school, but you don't know where. It's secret, right? Anyways, the largest single rough diamond ever found is the Cullinan diamond, weight 3106 carats. 1 carat is equivalent to the mass of 0.20 grams. 1 carat is equal to 0.20 grams. Okay? What is the mass in milligrams? 0.20 grams at the top, 1 carat at the bottom. We want milligram, so 1000 milligram over 1 gram. Okay, that's the solution. 3106 times 0.20 times 1000. 621,200. 621,200 milligram. Okay, that's the final answer. No, not yet. Weight in pounds. We're gonna use the milligram. 621,200 milligram divided by 1000 milligram per gram. Again, 1000 gram, 1 kilogram times. Okay, we have conversion on the calculator. Remember, kilogram to gram, right? So 1 kilogram is 2.205 pounds. Okay, what is the answer? 621,200 divided by 1000 divided by 1000 times 2.205. 1.3697. 1.3697 pound. Mass or pound or just pounds. Okay, this is the second final answer. Okay, I hope you guys are catching up, or are being having a chill time right there. This set of problems is, I think it's very quick to answer. A local zoning ordinance number 2 says that a house. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, guys. Before we answer this, I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds to print screen it and answer it at your home, and then we're answer 5 second, print screen it, and we're gonna answer it together. Okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 4. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think that's it. Is there any problem 7? Hey, there's no problem 7. Wait, Chotomate. Hello, welcome back. Oh, there you go. We have number 7. Oh, there you go. Oh, number 7. Okay, so you guys copy that, and we're gonna answer that later. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, Let's go. Okay, so let's go for number 2. I hope you guys are having a chill time right there. I'm having a chill time right there. It's pretty hot, but I'm hot. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm chill, very chill, so chill that uh, very chill. Yeah. A local zoning ordinance says that a house footprint area of its ground floor cannot occupy more than one fourth. Okay. So let's say cannot occupy more than one fourth. Okay. Uh, Suppose that you own a one-third acre. This is a one-third acre, and one fourth of that one-third is the max. Okay, so one-third acre, we convert that to feet, which is given 43,560 divided by feet squared divided by acre. Okay, and we can only occupy one fourth. Okay, okay, so what is that? What is that? 43,560 divided by 12. 3630. Let's go. 3630 feet square. Let's go. Okay. To your house in square meters. Oh, let's convert that to square meters. 0.3048 meters square. Oh, square the 3048. 1 feet. Right. So what is gonna be? 3630 times 0.3048 squared. 337.2380. 337.2380 okay, meter squared. Let's go. I'm sorry. Okay, this problem are the problems are just I think it's fairly okay. Yeah, it's okay. A ship traveling due east 10 kilometers per hour. There's a ship. Let's just do ship. Okay. A ship heading 30 degrees east of north. There's like 30 degrees east of north, right? There's a ship right there going there. Is always due north from the ship. So meaning, let's say there's a ship going here. It means that the other ship is also here. It's always due north, right? And if the ship is right here, the other ship is right here, right? If the velocity of the ship is 10 kilometers per hour, this is 30 degrees. What will be what will be the speed of the second ship? So the speed of this one, right? The second ship. If this is 30, this is 60 by virtue of triangle method, right? Vector, or let's just do cosine, right? Cosine 60 is equal to 10 kilometers per hour over V. V is equal to 10 kilometer per hour divided by cosine 60. Cosine 60 is 1/2, so that's gonna be 20 kilometer per hour. Okay, very nice. Okay, that's number 3. Okay, oh, this one seems familiar. We solved this the other day or the other year. I don't know, since it's been so long since I uploaded the video. I think it's been years. It's been years. I miss you guys. Chords are loop. No, it's just weeks. Honestly, it's just been weeks. No, it's been years. So chords are looped around a small spacer separating two cylinders, each weighing 400 pounds. So if there's two cylinders, that's gonna be 800 pounds. Apply FBD 800. Oh, no, wrong one. NF, right? F or 800. There's no F. 400, 200, right? Theta, right? So X component is X, Y, negative 800, positive NF, right? 400 sine theta is equal to 0. This one is negative 200. Positive 400 cosine theta is equal to 0. So this one on the x component, 400 cosine theta is equal to 200 cosine theta is equal to 200 over 4. That's 1/2. Cosine theta is equal to 1/2. Theta is 60 degrees. Okay. NF, we're gonna do the y component. NF is equal to positive 800 minus 400 sine theta or sine 60. So NF is equal to 800 minus 400 sine 60. Okay. 453.5898. 453.5898. What's the unit? Pounds or pound force or pound mass. But we're just gonna use pounds. Okay, so that is the answer for number 4. Where are we doing this? Do we have FBD? Yes. Okay, do we have FBD for number 3? Yes, we have FBD for number 3 too. Yeah, there we go. Number 5. Number 5, here, coming down. Okay, so number 5, I would say, is the moderate or the most moderate question here, or probably hard, right? So first, a minimum 0.40 kilonewton boom. Let's put the 400 newton or 0.40 kilonewton at the center of the gravity of the boom. Is supported as shown below in the figure. Find the tension in the tie of the rope and the exerted P pin at the P. Okay? So here we have like PX, then PY, right? Okay? So FBD. So we have PY. We have PX. We have T. Okay? We have 400 Newton. We have 2,000 Newton. Okay, initially we could see the y component Py is equal to 2,400 Newton. But Px is gonna be equal to T. We don't know the angle of P. It's not 50 degrees. It's not 50 degrees. Okay, so it could be 50 degrees, but it's not gonna be 50, or we don't know if it's gonna be 50 degrees, right? So we have to like use moment or torque, right? Moment at torque at P, let's say counterclockwise. Let's use the 400 Newton, right? 400 Newton negative because that's like counterclockwise, right? Then distance, if this is P, 3L over 4. The perpendicular distance is gonna be cosine, right? 3L over 4 cosine 50. Okay. Then 2,000 Newton. Okay. The wait. It's not 3L over 4. Okay. 400 Newton is located at the middle. So that's gonna be L over 2. And for 2,000, it's gonna be located at the end, so it's gonna be L cosine 50. While the tension, because we're doing counterclockwise, the tension is gonna be positive, and the tension is 3 over 4. Tension, 3L over 4 cosine 50. Sine 50. As the perpendicular distance is the y or the vertical. It's gonna be equal to 0 if that's a system. Divide all sides by L, so we just can cancel the L. Okay. We don't care about the length. So move all the positive to the left side. So 400 divided by 2, that's gonna be 2,200 cosine 50 is equal to T 3/4 sine 50. 2,200 times 4 divided by 3 cosine 50 over sine 50 is equal to t. S equal to px. What is t and what is px? Alright, 2,200 times 4 divided by 3 times cosine 50 divided by sine 50. 2461. 2461.3589. 3589 Newton. Is that Newton? That's Newton. Right? So that's px, and this is gonna be t. And we're looking for p. P is square root of 2400 plus 2461.3389 squared. Now, p is equal to 2,400 squared plus 2461.3389 squared. 3437.7593. 3437.7593 Newton. Alright, that's gonna be P. What's the angle? So, arctangent 2,400 over 24 y over x, right? I think that's gonna be close to 45 degrees. Because the numbers are very close. Oh, wrong one. Arctangent, my calculator, you're not working. 246.23. 44.2771. 44.2771 degrees. Very nice. Okay, so that's the answer. I would say this is like moderate. Alright, moderate question. You have to use some moment, but it's very apparent that the moment is at the point, and you have to like compute all the forces. Okay, so number 6. Number 6. If you guys have any question, feel free to comment below. And yeah, we're gonna answer all your question, guys, in the comment below. And also, I hope you guys are like, I also hope that you guys are like, the people who answered with me are correct, or we have the same answer, right? Right. A 10 kilogram mass is dropped from a tall building during the first second of the fall. So 1 second, what was the average power or the power exerted by gravity during the first 5 seconds? And the power 5 seconds and 1 second, right? Okay, so power is work over time. Work is force times distance times time over time. We have 10 kilogram times 9.81. We don't have distance times, let's say, 1 second first. Right? Distance, probably S is equal to V1T plus 1 half AT squared. We don't have velocity because it is drop. Okay, so S is equal to 1 half times 9.81 times 1 squared. Right? I'm just gonna put that there. So 1 half 9.81 times time squared. Okay? Or so power is equal to mass times gravity squared times time over 2. Okay? So what's that? 10 times 9.81 squared times 1 over 2. Power for 1 second is times 9.81 times squared divided by 2. 481.1805. 481.1805 watts. Okay? Or joules per second. How about 5 seconds? Power is equal to 10 times 9.81 squared times 5 over 2. What will be power times 5, 2,405.9025. Okay, watts. Okay, so that's the power for 5 seconds. Okay, next, or what's that? Last number. Okay, let's go to number 7. Last number. We're doing this very fast. A 2 kilogram box slides down a frictionless inclined plane. So, length of 3 meters. Width is of 4 meters. So, 4 meters here. Length cannot be the hypotenuse. Width can be here, this one. But length cannot be the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse cannot be shorter than the base. Right? So, this is 3/4. Okay, 2 kilogram box, right? 2 kilogram box. Now, this is work, right? So, work is equal to force times distance, right? Let's just tilt this. So, 2 kilogram, right? This one. Distance, this, let's just get the force or the acceleration, right? Because force is mass times acceleration. We have acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81. This one, right? 9.81 meter per second squared. But we need to get this angle or this angle. So we could just use arc tangent 3/4. 3/4 or theta is arc tangent 3/4, 36.8699, 36.8699. Then that's gonna be the angle, right? So we could just do work is equal to 2 kilogram times 9.81 times cosine theta. That's the formula for work. Remember, cosine 36.8699 times 5 meters, or the hypotenuse, the distance is square root of 16 plus 9 is equal to 25. Work is equal to 2 times 9.81 times cosine 36.8699 times 5. 78.48 watts. Oh, work joules. Okay, that is the answer. Okay. What's our acceleration there? 9.81 times cosine 36.8699. 7847. Makes sense, okay? So, acceleration due to gravity is downward. So, the hypotenuse acceleration the acceleration due to gravity cannot be faster than going downward because you're sliding in a plane. Okay, so 7.848 t, your acceleration due to gravity, or your acceleration in the inclined plane due to the gravity. What is the velocity of the box at the bottom of the incline? I mean, you have your acceleration. Acceleration is 7.848. Oh, you guys don't see that. 7.848 meters per second squared. We want V2 is equal to 0 plus V2 squared is 0 plus 2AS. 2 times 7.848 times 5 meters. V2 square root, both sides, right? To cancel the square. Oh, you guys don't see anything. 2 times 7.848 times 5 is 8.8589 meters per second. Okay, 2AS. V2 squared is equal to V1 squared, which is 0, plus 2AS, or 2 acceleration gravity. Okay, I'm just gonna times 9.81 times cosine 36.8699. 8.8589. 8.8589 meters per second. Okay, that is the answer for velocity. Okay, hope you guys have learned something, and that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. I think this has been a very fast problem solving video. 30 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. See you guys for more. Bye bye.